Alright, what's good guys? Chef Jed checking in. So my boss is over there and he's coming over right now because he's sick and tired of waiting for his dinner. And I thought, you know what, before I make it, why don't I provide everyone with a little video just touching on how much should you feed a dog. When I first got Freddie, I was looking for this information myself because I had no idea. Obviously every dog is different. On the backs of these bags of biscuits, there's generic information that isn't very helpful because it would just give you like a guideline depending on how much your dog weighs and whether or not it's a small breed, a medium breed, or a large breed. Obviously there's lots of variables that we have to take into consideration with how much food to feed a dog, much like we do for ourselves as human beings, right? So if I said to you to eat 2,000 calories and you had a desk job and I ate 2,000 calories, but I was, my job was manual labor, obviously I'm gonna be burning a lot more calories than you. So it doesn't make any sense to do that. So it doesn't make any sense for me to feed Freddie the same amount of food that you feed your dog if you're hiking at the weekend, because we don't do hikes, we just do like normal dog walks. So it's different for every dog, it's different for every lifestyle and every situation. So bearing all of that in mind, you just have to take into consideration the fact that there is no right or wrong amount. In short, I would always go based off of what your dog looks like. Freddie here is a whippet, and a typical rule of thumb is that you can see the last two or three ribs. For me personally, I find that to be too skinny. I don't like how it looks on Freddie. He looks way too small. So what I like to do is to keep Freddie at a body weight whereby I can see his last 2 to 3 ribs when he's panting. If I can see that, then I know that I'm about right with what I'm feeding him. And over the years, I have nailed that down to 2 meals per day at 100 grams per meal. And that is all based off of us doing one small walk in the morning, which is just around the block, and then at around 4 p.m, which is an hour before his dinner time, I'll take him out for a nice long walk, which is usually an hour and a half, which is at the beach or at the golf course or at his favorite woods. And then when we get back from there, you right there, mate? And when we get back from there, he has his meal too. What I would advise you do is to use a pair of food scales like I've got here. I picked these up from Amazon. Honestly, they're the best food weighing scales I've ever bought. You can recharge them so you don't ever have to use batteries or repurchase batteries, and they've never failed me. I'm into weighing all of my own food, so they've lasted me for years and years. I'll link these in the description box below. So if you weigh out your dog's food and you get like a baseline calorie intake or gram of food intake, give that a trial run for a few weeks, and if you see that your dog is starting to gain weight and you don't like how they're starting to look, maybe their energy's down, maybe they're needing to go for a poo too often, then it's time to reduce their calories. Let's say you've been feeding your dog 200 grams, just reduce it by 10 grams. So now you're going to feed them 190 and see how they get on with that and go from there. And you may need to reduce it further still. It all depends on your dog. And again, your lifestyle, how many walks you're going for, how long those walks are. On the backs of these bags of food, it will give you a guideline. So there's a small dog guideline, a medium dog guideline, large dog and giant dogs. Again, it depends on your walking and how much exercise the dog is doing, how much sleeping are they doing, are they playing around in the house during the day? It all depends on so many different things, and it's up to you as a dog owner to figure that out over time. What I feed Freddie is not the same as what you should be feeding your whippet, and if I had a Rottweiler here or a Great Dane, same thing applies. What I'm feeding my Great Dane or my Rottweiler isn't the same as what you should be feeding yours. What a lot of people also do, they will feed their dogs their dinner, and then they will also treat throughout the day, which is where weight gain can really start kicking in. and they will say to themselves, well, I'm not feeding my dog that much, I feed my dog less than the next person. But what they're not, go on then. But what they're not taking into consideration is things like this. I'm treating Freddie now. I've just given him a handful of biscuits, that's 50 grams. So now I should reduce his dinner by 50 grams if I'm to be really strict. So with all of these things, there's plenty that you should bear in mind. There's lots of variables that you should take into consideration, even to the point whereby if, for example, you are going on a family holiday, you're taking your dog with you, and you're going to be doing a lot of walking and cycling that week, it would be a good idea to increase your dog's food that week, because they're going to be feeling a lot more hungry. They're not going to be sat at home on the sofa, because they're going to be out with you doing more activities. So you can probably get away with treating them a little bit more out on walks, or just increasing their gram of food per day. So put a bowl on the scales, I'll grab biscuits, put 50 grams in there, and then I give him raw chicken. I'll put 50 grams in there. He thinks Christmas come early because it's like 2 p.m. and it's certainly not his dinner time. But he can have an early treat because he's been so good while I've been doing this. So that's 100 grams total of food, and that is going to be one of Freddie's meals. Do you want this now, mummy? Alright, and while Freddie finishes that up, I'm also going to finish up this video. Firstly, if you have any questions, post them below. If you have anything that I may have missed from this video, post them below. All of the information is helpful for future dog owners and also current dog owners as well. I've got raw chicken on my hands, so I'm going to go and give them a wash. Hopefully my boss here was happy with his extra dinner of the day, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.